Welcome. It's the Cobra, by the way. Shout out to the year of the snake. Oh. Here we are. Here we are. We are live, y'all. Yes, we are. You already know the vibes. Wait for that notification to get out. Don't have to hear myself. Okay. You. Oh, wait. Is that gonna... Whatever. Dun, 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 dun. Somebody's been watching this show called Always a Witch or Siempre Bruja. Because as I'm about to get rolling with this live here, that the intro to that show, that series, was popping through. Dun, 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 dun. Or the 1500s, 1600s could be of significance. Welcome, y'all. I'm Goddess High Priestess Empress Alba La Pantera. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Okay. Let me make these bang bing bada boom adjustments over here. I keep telling myself that I'm gonna do this when I get off live, so I don't have to do this every time. But the thought leaves immediately. This is nothing though. It's alright. Gives me time to wait for y'all to come in. Ooh, 222. Write that down on a piece of paper. A piece of paper. Whew. What y'all got going on? What y'all feeling? Especially for those of you that watch this later. Leave the message in the comments. Tell me what you feel, what you got going. Don't put nothing that's going to possibly get you blocked. Don't use the word blessed. We don't do that over here, okay? Do what you do. But over here, we got to be conscientious of the verbiage. All right? Do what you do outside here. But just be mindful of the comments. Don't use the word like. Don't use the word try. Okay? Say as it is and say what you mean. But may all be well with you all, okay? Yeah, we got time today. Yes, we do. Pluto is retrograde. Saturn about to go into Aries on the 24th. Some of y'all already been getting Miyagi'd over here anyway. So you should be more than ready for when Saturn goes into Aries. That was a mini bar. That could be significant for some of you too, where you probably thinking of setting up a mini bar. Do you? Do you? This tea is banging. We got whole cloves, cinnamon, anise, cayenne pepper. It's great before bed too, or before journaling or your meditations, just to get more clarity about what's, coming through your downloads, uploads, and such. But yes, here we are. Once again. What planetary hour we in right now? The sun hour. The hour of the sun, the ninth hour. Hour of the sun. It's based off location too. The sun has to do with vitality, your willpower. It also represents the ego in the sense of, from a higher perspective, the ego puts you in situations for you to utilize the essence of your soul and your spirit, but you have to be able to differentiate between the two, so that way the ego is not at the forefront, in the sense of it has more control over your reality and the situation. Obviously, you go through lessons where you will learn what that is, or the difference between the two. This is good. This is a pretty dope vibe right now. Yeah, it is. Let me see. Where we at right now? The 6th. Was it Tuesday? Blue self-existing night day. I define in order to dream. Speaking of dreams, so there's that. Some of you been having some dreams here that you've been wanting further clarity. So yeah, you will receive the clarity here, especially if the way I deliver messages resonates with you. So get your writing tools. Measuring intuition, defining in order to dream. In order for you to bring balance into the chaos, you have to define what the chaos is. Your dreams are helping you do that. When you wake up into this state, the way it's also being defined is through your intuition. Now going from one thing to the other, but let's rewind just a little bit. This is possibly why some of you have been detoxing or have just abruptly, especially around the new moon in Taurus, ended a particular habit that was probably causing you to waste time and energy, and taking your focus off of, what it is that you, by your soul and intuition, are being guided to do. It happens, but once you recognize it, don't continue down that path. Especially if you know it's not something that is productive. It's not allowing you to be productive. So that message will be for those of you who say, I'll do this later. Okay. I'll do this later. Or feeling as though you have to do something first before you do what it is that you have to do. Okay. So we gonna cleanse your space. I am guided by the power of self-generation. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. Wow. Blue self-existing night, Kin 43 day. Okay. Let's get into it. All praise due to the Most High. Connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mama Universe and Papa Universe. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of my angel spirit guides, ancestors, warriors that guide and protect me. I connect my heart and soul to my heart and soul, always in connection to the Most High. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Gracias a la misericordia. Let's go. Dan, da, dan, dan, dan. Siempre bruja. That always a witch. That series that was, it should still be on Netflix or wherever it may be. But Colombia could be of significance. But that song keeps, the intro to that song could be, keeps playing over, or something about reintroducing yourself. Okay. Some of you could be appearing differently to people, spiritually, physically, mentally. You're having to reintroduce yourself. Not having to, but you're in that type of energy of reintroducing yourself. So congratulations. Because obviously you are doing something amazing. Okay? All right. Let's see what else. Some of you feel as though you don't have enough time to do what it is that you have to do. Let's say you have a 9 to 5. You need to be more aware of what it is that you're investing the next 4 hours on. At least the next 4 hours on. Because you can utilize those next 4 hours to do, you know, build, let's say if you want to build on a business, so you don't have to do that 9 to 5. Use those next 4 hours. Using your time more wisely, basically. Especially while Pluto is retrograde too. And while Saturn enters Aries, it'll be there till about September. Then it goes retrograde, where it'll go back into Pisces before it settles in Aries for the next 2 years or so as of February 2026. So right now, well, 24th of May is when you'll get an idea of where you are being Miyagi'd by Saturn, okay? And where you're being trained to utilize your power and your force, but not allowing your force to be more at the forefront than your power. So that way you're coming from a much more wise standpoint, you know, where you're more responsive and not so reactive to situations. And you'll get a glimpse of that frequency between the 24th of May, even for some of you now, because some of you could be feeling these transits even before they hit. That's a gift in itself. An amazing one. And if you're somebody that moves that way, then you're here to also deliver messages to the collective. Some of you may still be uncomfortable with doing that, but you'll have a sense. You'll go through experiences before transit hits. And then when you look at what that transit means, you're realizing, oh, this already happened. You're at the forefront. A guide. Something about being able to foresee things too. A lot of messages for some of you here that's going to confirm so much. That's why the vibe feels amazing. I may get about twice, well, 3 times, because I'm telling you, this tea is everything right now. Yo. Okay. Let me see. Let's see what the energy is. Now, when it comes to Pluto retrograde between now and the 13th of October. It's going to favor shadow work and reclaiming any type of identity or disempowered identity that can actually help you to transmute emotional depth into action, visionary action. Wow. So this Pluto retrograde is going to be beneficial for those of you who have been struggling with trusting your ability to visualize and bring things into fruition, where whatever it was that was preventing you from evolving, now would be the wonderful time to address it. Especially when it comes to where you may have felt that there was a lack of appreciative love, and there's a storm warning here. So there could be certain warnings that you'll receive from this message as well. As a confirmation, it says something you had a thought of doing something, but you were feeling uneasy. That in itself, that uneasy feeling, especially when the balance is tipping more, so the scales are tipping more so towards a no, but you still move towards it. This message is going to confirm for some of you just saying this right now that don't choose that direction, but also reflect on what is causing you to go in that direction, because there could be some sort of a sense of lack that you have yet to address that's causes you to do things that are more in your comfort zone per se. Welcome, Bandera Soul Fan, Fatima C. Welcome, my love. Greetings. Shout out to the members of the channel. We'll be doing more live over on that side that goes more in depth of the astrology. We'll do some of that here, but more of that over that way. What's the energy? Show me the energy here. 413. That's actually Aries energy right there. Venus and Aries. Venus is in Aries. 4 of Wands. You have the door to spirit. I'm going to read it from the text because I don't want to miss a beat from that text, because it's a pretty deep message there with door to spirit. Morning doves could also be significant too. Spiritual awakenings and new beginnings. This door opens onto the expansive energetic realm where all new beginnings originate. The orbs of lights are guiding you through the clouds of the earthly world, leading you to a deeper understanding of your eternal identity. There goes that. The source of all true value and power. This door opens onto truly unlimited potential. Why am I being guided to stop there? Give me a second. There's something about the truth being unlimited, though. Once you respond to what is true to you, possibilities are limitless, unlimited possibilities. The doors of, unlimited possibilities open up for you much faster or smoother. For some of you already been opening up those doors, but there could also be moments where you could be discussing what you're doing next. Gratitude for the Cash App, Fatima. Gratitude for the Cash App, my love. And infinite gratitude and blessings back onto you. Yes, indeed. This door opens onto truly unlimited potential. For the changes that happen here reach deep into the core of your being. As such, this card often heralds your increasing powers in the spiritual arts and a deepening connection with the spirit world. Don't be surprised if you find yourself becoming more intuitive, more aware of spirit's presence, or more powerful in your own healing practices. Now is the time to open up to the unexpected guidance and inspiration of spirit and to the magic and power of your true identity. Who are you? A conversation with yourself, self to self. Who are you? Journal or record yourself speaking to yourself about who you are, not what your name is or where you come from, but who are you? Because it'll allow you to see the way that you define yourself. Some of you don't even have the words. Or feel a sense of discomfort to even say what that is. Because I'm getting this image of when somebody is asking themselves, who are you? Your initial response is going towards an experience where you felt unappreciated or unappreciated loved, taken for granted. But this question from self to self of who are you is more so towards the version of you that has evolved from that. So this Pluto retrograde is going to bring some of that up, especially when it comes to shadow work regarding relationships, sexuality, and what it is that you find yourself devoted to. Okay. Now, I'm just going to give this warning in terms of why you showed up here to this realm, this channel. It's a nurturing space, but it may not be so gentle in the traditional sense. Just give that warning from now. Okay? Because you will be guided to penetrate anything that is connected to fear. Really get to that point, to face the pain and get through that threshold. All right? At the bottom of the deck is broken heart or having to heal the heart chakra, and this is number 9. This is this 9 year. Now the heart doesn't break. It'll break the vessel if it stops beating, though. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. There's times, yeah, my nurturing, when it resonates with you, it does come across gentle. But that's coming up. You wanna know why that's coming up? Because some of you may also have a way of expressing yourself that people can't handle. They're fascinated by you. But when you are being you, they can't handle it or feel some type of way towards you. Especially when the changes that you make in your transformations causes a relationship to end. You know, because it's no longer your frequency. It can't be there. It can't be a connection to that anymore. You know? All tied up. Number 23, 32, 23 showing up. Reflection. You to you. Okay. Did we even finish that passage? Just a bit. Yeah, we did. The affirmation for the door to spirit: I relax and connect with my spirit's wisdom and power. I live in the peace that my spirit brings and know that the world of spirit supports me. Okay. So there seems to be a lot of separation. Shout out to Archangel Raphael here. The healing, the Archangel of healing, the one that helps you to stay rooted and grounded in situations, or places you into a state of being rooted and grounded, planting new seeds that truly align to the healed version of you. Because the truth of shadow work is that it shouldn't be a lifelong process. It shouldn't be something you're doing. If you're gonna do shadow work, is because you are ready to heal. Look at shadow work as a cure, not a treatment. It's a cure. Okay? So this all tied up energy with Archangel Raphael here. You're making decisions right now that's healthy to your psyche. You may have many around you that disagree, but remember the affirmation of the door to spirit, that spirit supports you. You're trusting your spirit, you're trusting your soul more than others, which that may be a place you've come from, you know? Happens to plenty, you know, as you go through this journey of transformation. Because Pluto breaks down those sensitive psychological areas that prevents you from evolving before you're able to attain that power, before you're able to take action. And without that breakdown, you're moving in the lower essence of its lower octave, Mars, where you're moving from a much more impulsive standpoint. The Thinking Man, number 46. Some of you were working with crystals before you stopped doing that, maybe because of a certain belief system, or you would wear your crystals sometimes around certain groups of people and not around others. You stopped, and now recently, or whenever you decided to just be authentically you, wearing what you want to wear that makes you feel wholesome, you began to see a lot of the static and disruptions or distractions that were surrounding you dissipate, remove itself from you, dissolve. Yo. Because we are mentioning Saturn going into Aries, but it's certainly in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces card is the 8 of Cups, walking away from those things that no longer serves you, serving you. Okay. And the higher the degree it goes before it goes into the next sign, it becomes a critical point, critical timing, meaning as it's in this 28, 29 degrees, it's more of a fated and destined event that's happening in terms of what you're walking away from or what's being pulled away from you. For your blessings, 11. You may have been seeing 1111 quite frequently. November could be significant, but trust that you are on the right path. But also be mindful of your thoughts. When you're seeing that number 11, 1111 will be that portal, that gateway that is showing you you're ready to enter. Keep going down this path. You've entered the portal. If you see, let's say, a 311, a 511, a 711, whatever that first number is, it'll bring a little bit more context to that 11 energy. So if you're seeing 311, you're in this position of expansion, creation, speak more. Especially if you're seeing these numbers after you've seen 1111. So, do your own research when it comes to the rest. But with 511 is that you're ready for the change. If it's 7, it's something spiritual. You're being guided to, when it comes to making that wish, don't place yourself in a position to do too much to bring it in. You wish, let it go. Let the energy do what it does. It's similar to planting the seeds. You don't constantly dig up the soil to see if it's growing. You let it go through its process, okay? Let's see, let me get one more. Ooh, baby. Door to value. Uh-huh. This what we doing? Then let's do it then. Okay. Speaking of doorways and portals, you got doors, the beginning and the end. The door to spirit is walking you towards your door to value, but you have to connect to your inner portal. All tied up in thinking, man, overthinking the steps that you have to take, overusing logic. See, this is where that intuitive side comes into play. Gotta balance it out. I love that card from that star, that portal thingy. It says, trust your intuition before it makes sense. And then you have the goddess of the moon, 752, number 52, 7. Getting the message of trusting the ebbs and flows. Because the moon, in connection to your subconscious or your emotions, there's always a shift. But the key in this shift is the patterns that you notice. That's what helps you to have that discernment, to trust your intuition, is noticing the pattern. I said one more, but attachment. Attachment blocks your crown chakra. The crown chakra in this deck is connected to Archangel Uriel. Archangel Uriel has to do with seeing the patterns. Walking away, 527. This is when, by this time, 527, Saturn is in Aries already. So, between now and the time that Saturn goes into Aries, and when we speak of these aspects, is more so as a energetic guide, so between now and then, what's coming to the surface for you is what you can't take with you to this new level of training. Because if Saturn going into Aries, it's starting a cycle all over again. It's starting the cycle of the I am that I am. That's why the question at the beginning was, who are you? Alrighty then. I just love how the astrology is lining up with these movies. That could also be something you look into. Check out to see the movies that came out around the time that you were born or the year that you were born. There may be some sort of energetic reference that you can make from that as well. Okay. Let's see what this attachment is. That is required of you to walk away from for your healing. Because you had Archangel Raphael at the bottom, broken heart at the bottom, and walking away. And then you have the final card, the fifth card here, number 5 at that, attachment. So let's see. Know your value. Venus is in Aries, which has to do with your values, but also your senses. There's something about your sense of smell before an energy approaches you that is part of trusting the intuition before it makes sense, where that sense of smell, whatever it is that you're smelling, it triggers the action you're being guided to take before something approaches you. So it's basically a warning. Show me what this attachment is. Show me the energy. Fishing for comments. You know what I'm getting from this here? Let's say you're no longer in a said relationship with someone, but you're constantly looking on their page to see who's talking to them, or if you have a habit of doing that, it's time to end that type of energy. On another note, if you were in a relationship with someone and when you and them, let's say there's a reconciliation, and they come to you in this reconciliation conversation saying, I'm always looking at your page, but you're the only one that's initiating conversation that leads into reconciliation, it's time for that to go too. Okay? Because if they can take the time to constantly watch whatever it is that you're doing, especially if there's some sort of lack of harmony when it comes to communication, yeah. It's time for that to go. Hold up. Let me re-up before. Back up sealed. It's time to keep the lips sealed. Seal that energy forever. Where are you? You little thing that I'm looking for. Okay. Not moving on, being at the bottom of the deck. I didn't even peep that. Hold on. Wait. Wait a whole ass minute. Wait one whole ass minute here. Bottom of the deck, we got moving on. So, okay. Somebody in here, whether you watching this now or on a replay, there's a relationship you're recognizing that if it's truly not going anywhere, okay? Oh, we're gonna do a Celtic spread. Cause yeah, at some point. If it's not going anywhere, why are you still there? One thing that I can tell you that is true about life is that it's always in motion. So if something is not moving, you're not living. I mean, even when it comes to success, it's progressive movement towards your goal. So if a relationship is not successful, then obviously it's not progressing towards the goal of it being successful. Whatever successful in a relationship means to you. So now also that places you into a position of reflecting, right? What is a relationship? What values do you have when it comes to relationships? You know what I'm saying? The ways you love on yourself. Are you actually doing that? Because now what I'm getting here for some of you is you gotta be real with yourself as to why a certain relationship didn't work, because you're looking for this person to love you in a way that you have yet to love yourself. And let me tell you something, if any of the emperors, if the emperor or the empress come out in reverse, played out, I'm done. Not the track. We on track of something that's played out. Y'all, my bad. This triangle went out. I mean, it finished, but we gotta get another one on. Some of you at the forefront of your mind is a move. At the top of the deck was the moving card, or you just move. Well, congratulations. For some of you, energetically, if you're wanting to move, that could be what's blocking you from moving. This right here, past situation. You over occupying your mind with nonsense. Not laughing at you, laughing with you. At some point, you can laugh about this. Maybe not now, but yeah. You got moving here at the top of the deck. Or there could be something where instead of you reflecting on what's the truth of a situation, you over-occupy yourself with vigorous task. That shit's getting played out. Or fishing for comments too is getting played out. This, I mean, definitely an attachment type of energy there that needs to change. Someone has recently decided also to go to therapy. Congratulations. You decided to do something, you know, to help with your change, to help you evolve. Getting other people that you may know out of the pictures 4404 so you can, it'll help you to get to the next step of you trusting your ancestors and your spirit guides. Then you have hooked at the bottom of the deck. Someone loves to fish, moving, hooked, or someone lives by a lake. It seems a lake, somebody that lives by a lake. Talking shit. Would you look at that? Some of you have an attachment to a certain type of energy that you fall for based off of what they say, but their actions don't add up. And you can feel that before this interaction even occurs. But because you don't want to see this new situation as the last situation, the previous situation, you continue on with the connection to see if something will change. But it doesn't. Show me the energy of the collective right now before I go any further. Let me see where the energy for this reading is right now. Hello, hey, not hello, hi. King of Cups. Okay. And the Wheel of Fortune, I love that. Okay. You're in, okay, this seems as though this could be a therapeutic type of conversation here for some of you. Especially if you find yourself in these repetitive cycles, relationship-wise, whether this is family, love, career, you just feel some sort of stagnancy. You're hooked to possibly talking shit about something just to take your mind off of it instead of actually handling it, or around people of that type of energy. Energy is fluid, okay? It may not attach itself fully to you. If this is someone who is not ready to handle a situation, they just want to keep sweeping it under the rug, it may not fully attach itself to you energetically, but, you know, a droplet of it will, because it's just something you're surrounded by. You got two Scorpio cards coming out here, King of Cups and the Seven of Cups. Wow. Somebody certainly here got options. Or you're reflecting on the options that you've taken action on, especially when it comes to sharing intense, deep emotions. There's a lot of erotic energy coming through here, I'll tell you that. Some of you were in a situation where you were all tied up with something, where somebody is just all talk. And that energy with them is getting played out because you may have found out something about them having other options. Now, if that's you, know that you're not an option. You're the choice. You're the one. Especially if you're over here. Okay. If anybody has you feeling as though you're an option, that should be your first indication without question of getting that ass up energetically, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and exiting. Page of Swords. That's a spy type of energy. Now, some of you also have to just release, you know, what people may say about you when you decide to be the most authentic version of yourself. Fuck them. Okay? They can go mind their business the same way you were minding your own. Just saying. Get one more card here. It was just 49.44 on the clock. What's this? Here goes the moon. And Aries, Queen of Wands. This full moon in Scorpio is about to make something very clear to you, where you're going to notice your value. So this could be, if you found yourself constantly in this back and forth, in and out, wondering what if, ain't gonna be no more what if. Okay? Come this full moon in Scorpio, ain't gonna be no more what ifs. It was just 49, 44. 49, that's a 13. And it's the same energy that's in the back of the death card. So you're already having a sense of what is time for you to release, because that's what that full moon in Scorpio card says, time to release negativity. And without question, that's a different feeling. That's an accomplishment. That's a feeling of an accomplishment too. Especially when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, a situation of your past that you've been wanting to be compassionate about. Now you can still have that compassion, but doesn't mean that a reconciliation has to happen. You're becoming more aware of your love, the depths of the way you love. And again, in speaking of, you know what I'm saying, when you are in alignment to your purpose, because the Queen of Wands is someone who lives in their purpose. When you live in your purpose, your glow irritates people. And you may have had people in the past that you being goal oriented pisses them off in a way. You know what I'm saying? There's, those cases where people have partners that are envious and jealous of them type shit. Or people that they have that they are choosing to work with, but in reality is not someone that they need to be working with. 5225. And 52 card was Goddess of the Moon and the energy deck. So I see where you're at now. Okay. What's this that stay behind? Moving. Moving could be significant here. Especially if you feel as though you're around someone who's always looking for what's wrong. Very misjudgmental. That's a sinful type of energy in terms of they're always missing the fucking mark, but always looking for something that's wrong. That shouldn't make sense. That energy is irritating. Some of you reach the point where you know what I'm saying? You get so irritated by the energy. You say, when in the fuck did the energy even align for this to even make sense as to why you are here? Notice where the hand is, because you wasn't trusted, you know what I'm saying? This here, intuition. Threatening. Somebody feels threatened by you? Or there's this, this deck is called What's the Tea? I guess that's what's happening here. 5413, 913. Libra energy? No, not Libra, but Libra could be significant. Virgo, but Libra has to do with balance. It's something that has to do with one-on-one. It's not a group of people. It's a person. This energy has to do with the person. Now, beautifully so, they show up in your life for you to recognize what it's time for you to make the adjustments to. You got threatening, intimidating, threatened, bothered. Somebody could be intimidated by you. See what I'm saying? When you Yeah. Reflecting. Yeah. Okay. Let's say you're usually around people who see spirituality as some sort of taboo. That when you begin to attract based off the way you spiritually see yourself and value yourself spiritually, they're thinking that you're doing all these different types of spells, when that's exactly what you do. When you do affirmations or when people pray, that's what they're doing. But they see it in a way as in, oh, you're not supposed to do that. Oh, you only got this because you do this and you do that. Or you sacrifice this and you sacrifice that. To each its own about how they go about what they do. But there are certain people energetically around that may feel as though, oh, you only got this because you have this lifestyle. For one, even just saying that out loud, because the message has to come out, that shit is draining. It's a waste of energy. Or if someone feels as though that when you and them stop talking, that you did something towards them because their life turns to shit. Don't know what, I mean, there are people that move that way, but if you over here, you better not be one of them, because people will put themselves in their own fucking hole. You ain't got to do shit. If you truly understand the universal law and the law of cause and effect. 56 on the timer. You just gotta have patience and just move on with your life. Literally moving on. Back up and move on. Showed up twice. Groupie. Good Lord. I'm gonna show you this image because I feel as though there's someone here who resembles that energy here for some of you. Okay? So you have an idea. Too busy winning. See? When you too productive winning. They too busy attempting to win, because busy don't make you productive, really. You could be busy going in circles, which means you're not producing something. When you product, that's a different story. When you are being productive, you out of alignment with the energy of being overwhelmed. When you're busy, you become overwhelmed. When you're productive, you're whelmed. When you're busy, you're overwhelmed. Let's see. Inside scoop. Somebody nosy. Up in your business, just being nosy. Want to get close just to be nosy. That's similar to someone looking into another person's Akashic records. That ain't a place for no one but the person in their own record. Ain't shit. And Joyce says, ain't shit. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Ain't crazy. It's just what it is. They over there being so nosy, not minding their business, they can't even have a proper bowel movement. So now they full of it. Okay. I'm gonna put these cards back and we're gonna look at the spread. I'm gonna keep the energy cards up though. Let me see. Let me keep these actually, and I'll use a different deck. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. This is where y'all are at, right here. You're ready for the changes and the completions that this full moon in Scorpio is going to bring you on the 12th. along with the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto, being retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, which is going to favor, you know, let's say if there are any bits and pieces left of the shadow work so you can finally heal yourself from this situation so true love can begin. With the throat chakra showing up there, that's Archangel Gabriel. Something about the West could be significant. Someone's last name could be West. Or somebody's name is West, is what I'm getting from that. Stronger 4, 5, 6. That joint said ain't shit. Ibiza. Here we go. Show me the current energy here. This shit is funny. Victory, your current energy is victory and success, patience and planning. 13, 6 and 7. 6 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles. 6 of Wands, Jupiter and Leo. 7 of Pentacles, Saturn and Taurus. For some of you, this is the beginning stages of something that you will see, not at that 5-year mark, but let's say 2029, 2030 is going to be huge for you based on the decisions you make right now. Integrating what you've learned, trusting your gut to make decisions on your way there. Between now and then is just success, especially if you're progressing towards your goal, in terms of that being the energy of success, progressing towards your goal. That's your current energy. Victory and success, but patience and planning. Victory and success that comes with patience and planning. Here's the beauty of astrology. When you know your astrological placements and when you know what's going on. You'll have people that year by year are constantly on the move and feel as though because you're not doing the same, or they feel as though that you should be doing more or you should do less, then you ain't shit. Especially for those of you that are Cancerians, Sun, Moon, Venus, Mars, rising. Jupiter right now is in the sign of Gemini, which means that Jupiter falls in your 12th house. So before you can come into this newness, this new beginning of it going into that first house energy, this is your time of recuperation, of rejuvenation and rest and deep inner reflection. And you know what I'll say about that? Personally speaking, having a Cancer rising, normally I do lives for hours. But since Jupiter went into Gemini, it had me slow down. The energy really had me slow down because there was a lot more of a spiritual reflection that was going on. And one thing I can tell you about that type of transit, when Jupiter is in the 12th house, a house of spirituality, it'll show you, it'll expose to you who, as far as hidden energies that are not in alignment with you, it'll expose them easily. Because you're in this more relaxed state and you are able to pick up on the most subtle of energies to see who's who. That's real shit. So when people think, oh, you should do more, astrology actually helps you recognize, you know what I'm saying? Not to say, you know, live your entire life off of it, but let's say you have these ideas, but you find yourself resting more. There could be a cosmic reason for that. And astrologically, if you know what's up, only thing you're seeing right now is who ain't supposed to be at the table with you when it's time for you to, you know what I'm saying, be abundant. As simple as that. Simple as that. Look at that. The sun card at the bottom of the deck. Just as the seasons go. You know what I'm saying? Spring, summer, fall, winter. Yeah. What's the challenge here? 6600 on the clock. A rejoicing celebration. This is the Three of Cups, Mercury and Cancer. The challenge will be the conversations you have when it comes to the way you feel. Recognizing that conversations aren't the same anymore. This could also have to do with trusting the information, Mercury and Cancer, that's coming through the way you feel. There could be an overload of that. Let's say if you're having any type of bodily pain, physical pain, you can look into the meridian that is connected, the meridian of that area where the physical pain is, and it'll direct you, the meridian will direct you to the chakra, which will help you to see, you know what I'm saying, where there could be some sort of blockages. Obviously, do what you got to do, see a professional. But besides that, energetically and spiritually speaking, and getting to the root of the matter, is all is energy. Material and spiritual prosperity at the bottom of the deck. Six of Pentacles. More Mercury energy. Expressing your value causes a separation, it seems. Especially with the rejoice and celebration, Three of Cups being a challenge. Something isn't reconciled or doesn't come back together because you're able to express, you have more information about your value through your senses, and you're trusting the wisdom of your body before it logically makes sense. What's the root of this? Foundation. What's this? The universe at the bottom of the deck. Something's going to be shown to you. It's something catches you, your peripheral vision, that gives you an answer, because that's what I felt from this. And literally right before Pluto went retrograde, because it's 503, so May 3rd could be significant too. It just went to 4. Balance. That's where the storm warning card comes up. Because a storm only comes in when something has to be balanced out. And that's the Libra card. Speaking of Libra that we was referencing to earlier in terms of a one-on-one situation. We'll clarify these as we go around, but the foundation of your reading has to do with bringing something to balance that's gonna lead you to fulfillment of your wishes. Jupiter and Pisces. Pisces is 12th house energy, so you could have Cancer highly aspected in your chart, or something in regards to family, getting to the root of a certain family dysfunction or dis-ease that has more to do with some sort of energetic way of being. Going against one's own values. It's not even an energy of holding grudges. It's just more so, all right, if this brings forth a certain type of feeling within you that you don't agree with, You do what you gotta do for you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta over explain yourself to people, because what that will do is actually, because if it's something that you are feeling, obviously they may not necessarily feel it, even if you talk to your blue in the face. So you do what you gotta do for you and be more than okay with that. 505 and the honk just went off. So what's in the immediate past here? The third eye. Wow. You've had visions, dreams, or even premonitions about something being severed, disconnected from. You got third eye, first eye showing up, the pineal gland showing up here, number 6, in your past. So something you are aware of. Yeah, you've had foresight about something here that's going on, that's coming into balance now, where you can sense where your victory and success is coming from, especially once you detach. And also learn to not be attached to detachment. That's another thing. Allowing yourself to live freely and abundantly, not being attached to detaching. Because that would lead to, if there's an attachment to detaching, that would lead to unhealthy isolation, you know? There's a lot of deja vu that's been happening for someone as well. Moving on. 6 of Swords. That's 6-6. You got 6-6 on the table, but you got 6-6 here. Star of David, okay. Water and fire. Mystery. There's a solving of a mystery or secrets revealed. That's Pluto. That's the full moon in Scorpio energy, where certain secrets could be revealed. Now, let's say you figure something out within the dream state, okay? It's not for you to explain it to anybody in regards to what you saw in this instance, from what I'm picking up. It's obviously, it's for you. It's for you to make the next and best decision for you, for yourself. Because something can appear to you as a nightmare that makes you uncomfortable. But that nightmare is really more so having to do with the shadow aspect of yourself. So what's crowning the energy here? To see more about the pattern. I'm getting the crowning energy as the pattern. Wow. The Chariot. The pattern has to do with when you are prepared to move on, what happens that prevents you from doing so? Because it's in your challenge position, a 3 of Cups. There's some sort of reconciliation that comes up when you're ready to shift, evolve, move on towards your triumph and victory and success. Something comes around that distracts you, that even if the door opens up for you, you can't fully embrace the true value of what was behind that door before it opened. 7411. That's 1111 right there. July 4th could be significant of 2011 precisely. Yeah, 711, top and bottom. Or this could be a situation you still have at the forefront of your mind where you felt triumphant moving away from it, but there could still be some egotistical nature connected to the way you disconnected from it. So if behind this door of value was originally 50 billion, having that residue of that egotistical energy of what you disconnected from then, behind that door now becomes 50K. That's a big ass jump. A wild ass jump. Fulfillment of wishes. Now, this is around the time of Jupiter being in Aries, too. 2011, 2012, just around then. You already had a whole new cycle from the time Jupiter was in Aries not too long ago. I mean, it's now in Gemini. Hold up, 511 is on the clock, 711 is here. These are numbers that we mentioned, so you may want to look into the angel numbers of that too. Show me what's happening next. You got 66 and 77, and fuck me, okay? 311 is here too. So those numbers are definitely significant. So between March and July of 2011 is something for you to reflect on. If there's anything of that moment that could be affecting you now, let me see. Show me what this is. Not, and then this screen right here, this ad says 321. Pluto retrograde is going from Aquarius 3 degrees to Aquarius 1 degrees, which will be 3 is connected to Gemini, 2 is Taurus, Aries is 1. So you're reflecting on the way you think based on the way you value yourself when it comes to who you are. You know? So what's this 3-7? Is this 3-7, 11 to 12, 2011 to 12. This could be something that some of you swept under the rug subconsciously. Yeah. Has to do with the ego, hurt ego, ego get in the way of a relationship. And reflection came out in reverse. You see, yeah, there's something that happened, greetings, love. There's something that happened between March, July 2011 through 2012, that year, where there was a part of your ego hurt or a relationship didn't work out because of ego. This is very significant because remember now, Libra's here at the bottom of the deck, and it has to do with significant relationship that you felt as though it's supposed to be for the long term. Then you have crying over you, sad, hurt, upset. Now, what I'm also picking up, because the first card is Door to Spirit, this could be someone that's on the other side and you're holding on to some sort of coulda, woulda, shoulda. Let that go. Please let that go. And the reason why I say let that go, because once you recognize the way energy truly moves and the way the spirit moves, you can still say what you have to say. And this is where that galactic signature energy comes into play about you define in order to dream. You may even have to cleanse your system so you can become more aware of, you know, what's happening within that dream state, because some of you possibly are not even dreaming, but you say that you're not dreaming, but everyone dreams every night. Whether you remember them, different story. Okay? What could help you to even remember your dreams is, you know, before going to bed, do some sort of breathing exercise that allows you to relax, stretch, do something, or listen to something that puts you at ease, so you're not going upset as if your motor is still running on high. Because it'll have you going through that dream state, and some of you may even have this thing where when there's time for you to wake up, you jump up out of your sleep. Regressions could possibly help some of you. Not could, it can. Because it seems as though you're running from something. Now I'm sensing somebody running from something that they don't want to see, or they don't want to deal with it. That's not going to solve shit. You have to face it head on and handle whatever this is without getting someone else to understand what you're feeling. Some of you have recognized that, and this is why you may have chosen the path to go see a therapist. And kudos to you. Do what you have to do. But when it comes to getting somebody that is close to you to understand you, don't look for that. You know what I'm saying? Them shit, I get it. But that understanding is for you. The more you put someone in that position to have that power over you or for you, you're going to constantly find yourself seeking what's already within you outside of you. Okay? Let me get this incense on too. We doing as much clearing as we can before we go towards what's next. Because, let me see. Fake flexing. Ain't that bad. Acts rich, flosses, money, acts fancy, shows off, etc. A relationship was affected because, again, as we mentioned before, the fact that someone is goal-oriented and the other one is complacent and codependent in their head, overthinking, stressed, overanalyzing. And they always, whenever it's time for you, whenever success hits for you, they're always speaking about something that's going wrong. It's never a full-on celebration when it's time to celebrate. Again, that rejoicing celebration is your challenge. Okay, let me hold up. Shit, not over here. Always wanting to rain on somebody's parade, but rain is a blessing too. Shit. So they're not even doing that. They ain't shit, but want to shit on somebody. That's what the card said earlier, okay? They ain't shit. Literally said that. Somebody, this is somebody's high strung. They always. Someone could have a child too. Every time there's a new beginning or a fresh start for you, they just always coming with some bullshit. Heartbreak. Or they always coming in with some interference about a heartbreak or something. They don't have emotional intelligence, basically. They can't read the room. This is a celebration. Fuck is you coming over here with all that bullshit? At least leave that shit for the next 24 hours or something. Let me see. Fortitude. Stay in power. Stubborn. They doing whatever it takes. Determined. Ready for anything. But stubborn as fuck. You got Fortress here. Aquarius. Oh, so okay. Wait a minute, because that's one Aquarius. Pluto's going retrograde from 3 to 1. By the time it's in that one area, looking at September, October. It's around that mark. September, October. Whatever. Oh, that could be where that 913 comes from. That we was... Something about September 13th. 522. What's this? Another hook. But remember, hooking came out in that deck. You got fish hook, 8 of Aquarius. I want to see something. Let me move the energy up to that point. If that's this time next year, well, that's 5 degrees. Pluto will be at 5 degrees come May, around this time next year. Pluto moves so slow too. I mean, it takes 20 years to go through a sign, so shit. Let me see. So you're looking at 2028. Are you shitting me? Yeah, 2028. See, that's where that energy of between now and 2030. '18 is here. That's the moon in Aquarius. That's the 7 of Swords. But the 7 of Swords is a card of where you are aware now of people's patterns of deception and tactics of deception. This would be an example of people were unaware as to why you move the way you move. Is because you've already analyzed who they actually are. But they're not aware or emotionally intelligent enough to recognize, fuck, this is what happened. Obviously, yes, they would move this way. That's why this channel's so deep now. The moon is in Virgo. Just peep that. So, whenever the moon is in Virgo, just know that that's a opportune time for you to analyze what's going on in the surface emotionally. But also, you want to be mindful of whenever the moon is in Scorpio. Aquarius, while Pluto is in Aquarius. What comes up for you? Look at the phases. What does that phase mean of the moon? And it'll give you more about, the energy surrounding you. Five of Aries in reverse. Yeah, to help you to release the tension. Okay, so we're ready to move forward to what's happening next, because slingshot, which has to do with tension, strain, anxiety, pressure, it came out in reverse. Okay. Or any type of negative energy that's been aimed and fired towards you, as long as you know who you are and you stay true to yourself, man, shit. Continue to refine yourself, fine tune yourself, develop over time, going through the process of evolution, knowing when it's destined and fated for you to make certain moves, not based on what somebody else feels as though that that you should be doing, especially if you ain't asked them for their motherfucking advice. Nobody asks you shit. And most times, if you let me tell you something. Anyway, now fuck it. Don't leave it alone. Say leave it alone. Okay. What's next? See, Archangel Michael. Sirens outside. Leave it alone. I got say less, bro. You know, I'm gonna leave it alone. Let you handle. Cause it ain't about right or wrong when it comes to Archangel Michael. It's energy. That shit don't match. Sever it. It don't connect. Sever that shit. It gotta go. Yeah, 5:27 on the clock. Somebody just screaming shit. That could be happening. Somebody over there frustrated because what they normally do to people ain't working on you. 5:27 on the clock. 5:27 here. Look, what's under that was obviously 26, 5:26 before 27, but hostilities. It could be within a relationship. That's for fucking sure. You don't need for all of that. And that toxic trait shit in terms of, you know what I'm saying? People connecting to toxic ways of being in a relationship, or this has to go this way. There has to be, if there isn't an argument, then this is boring. You better figure that out. You better figure it out. Something about 2028, because I'm looking at that chart, May 6th, 2028. Saturn is in Taurus by then. So you would have already been Miyagi'd at that point. You would have been crowned as Karate Kid type thing. You know, you would have won your matches, and now you get to see the next level of that value, because Saturn in Taurus is your current energy too, with the patience and planning of the Seven of Pentacles. Victory and success, patience and planning. Not to say that you won't see success from here to then, but there's something very big there happening for you. And there goes the Seven of Swords. What's happening next? Nothing. Explain? Now you got 3 sevens on the board. The Chariot, the Seven of Pentacles, and now the Seven of Swords. Moon in Aquarius. The very first message had to do with spirit supports you, not these people of the past. And some of you also have to be mindful of when a toxic spirit can overcome someone and they feel as though, oh, they don't have an idea, as though, you know, when they may have went against you, even in the most subtle of ways. All of that shit's being recorded and seen. See no act, the book. Clarify. 7-4, the heart chakra. Deception and envy and love. There's certainly that full moon there. It's gonna reveal something here now. And in the universe, in regards to what has to end, because it's keeping you in the pits of hell. It's keeping you at a lower vibration. You're ready to rise, but this situation, you know what I'm saying, wants to tag along, and no, access denied. What's the advice? There's such a high level of discontent when this energy is around, but I don't know if you're allowing this still back into your energy. Just know the universe is going to make sure it closes out, though, especially if it's time. If it's something where, you know, your purpose here on this earth matters that much, and everyone's purpose matters that much. But from what I'm picking up here, when it's time for the energies to switch, for you to go into this portal because it's activation time, yeah, things will shift immediately. Now, you have conflict and defeat that's showing up here. The Five of Swords and your advice position. Be mindful of those who want to project some sort of energy of feeling conflicted or defeated. Especially when you are highly aware, okay, that you have been nothing but unconditionally loving and compassionate towards this energy. And they may have made a move or may have said something that they feel as though, oh, they'll never see this, or weren't aware where they were being used as bait to see if they would take the bait to deceive you. This is for someone who is highly aware, highly spiritual. You do have this high priest, high priestess energy connected to you, for sure. Where now you're being called to fully step full-fledged into your mission as a guide. Because remember, that's where we started with the energy too, in this live. Where there are certain astrological shifts that happen, that if you go through an experience and you see the way you've handled it or respond to it, and then you look at the astrology and recognize, oh shit, this already happened, you're definitely, certainly here to guide. 1733, yes, and heal. Guide, teach, and heal. 17, the star, 33, master number, that could be your life path, or you could be a life path 8. Tell me more about this advice here with the Five of Swords. Moving on, the Six of Swords. Okay, this Pluto retrograde is going to help you clear out whatever has to be clear out. That's 11-11 for what's next and your advice. 7-4 for what's next. 5-6 for your advice. 5-4-5-6, but 7-4-5. So in order for you to move on, you had to go to whatever this was that you were attached to, be able to recognize, see it head on, whatever this was you were attached to, why you're attached to it. You may experience some type of, energy where you feel conflicted or defeated, but don't be so hard on yourself as to why you chose to do whatever actions you've taken to see something clearer. Because if you're seeing something clearer based off your actions, then being hard on yourself shouldn't really be an option. Okay? Especially if it helped you to move on. And move on without holding any grudges, but just realizing that ain't for you no more. Because you have what's next, 7-4. Your advice, 5-6. So you have to go towards seeing the pattern of whatever this, attachment is, or what led to that level of attachment. What's at the bottom here? And you got material, spiritual prosperity. Six of Pentacles. You have now your body is giving you the information. Mercury and Taurus is giving you the information that is necessary for you to move on. You may experience some type of headaches while you're in the presence of this person, or after, or before. Pay attention to that. And mind you, July 4th, 2011 is certainly significant, because what's next, 7-4, the advice 5-6, that's 11. 7-4-11. That date is either something occurred when you were 4, 7, 11, or that year, 2011, or 2004, or 2007, that instead of handling it, really doing that reflection in terms of, let's say you were blamed for something that had nothing to do with you, but it affected you, obviously, because you were blamed for something that you did not do. And just that energy in itself of what comes with that, if there are even, let's say, rumors that happen for whatever reason, look at that now as a rite of passage, in terms of, especially if you are here as a high priest, high priestess, an ancient soul. A lot of these people who are taking the bait, deceiving you, but don't recognize what the consequences are for doing so. Okay? Where now they're going to more funerals than they have to. When you are here and chosen for a mission and people do a little too much or anything at all to take you off track, especially in this here age of Aquarius, people should know. Because it didn't just kick in when Pluto went into Aquarius. No, that's been going on for 1900, the beginning. Gratitude for the envelope. Some of them would literally say, and some of you may have been around people who would say and do things just to keep you close to them. But this is their spirit now. Especially if they're also here on a higher mission where that's their karmic lesson. They may have messed up once, but the moment they did it the second time, without being aware of what they were doing, they would say things to keep you attached so that way this moment wouldn't unfold. Where now they have to do the time or pay the consequences. What's in the environment? How are they being viewed? How is the collective? How, whoever this message is for, how are they being viewed? That heart chakra. How are they being viewed? It's a vibe of people holding on for dear life. How are they being viewed? The one who has the authority. The emperor. With the 11 pillar in the back. They owe you. It's a very heavy price to pay when it comes to, in any subtle way, shape, or form, to come against someone who has actually been there to help you without even asking for anything. Doing things that not even people that you call close to you would even do. And then move the way you would move with people in the past who didn't give a fuck about you. Oh, that person who is aware and has done it from the kindness of their heart, yeah, they may still have that kindness, but to an extent, you're being watched now. Love begins. They may have wanted to block you from receiving unconditional love by fucking with your own perception of you. And if you are sensitive about language, because these words ain't curses. There are words that will curse you, but fuck, shit, them words is liberating. Literally, fuck means to strike. That's the tower. 10808 on High Priestess Goddess energy. Okay. Obviously, in this dense ass world, you know what I'm saying? Be mindful with the language around children, but this ain't a channel for children, though. 744 could be significant. That's lion. That's connected to a lion. So some of you could have an ancestor who is a Leo. It's given the energy of a woman, though. It's a woman. She is not to play with. She loved to shapeshift. Especially when they messing with hers. You may go through, you know, some situations, you know what I'm saying, before something can be done. But it seems as though with the balance here at the bottom of the deck, it had to happen in this age, because I'm getting the energy of seeing the star card, which is Aquarius. It had to happen in this age or during this Pluto cycle. Because even with Neptune in Aries, the last time Neptune was in Aries was the 1860s. You see what I'm saying? So there could have been something energetically 11011 on the clock. There goes that. We getting deep into some ancestral stuff here, obviously. You're the one that's here to close it out. You know when they say you're your ancestors' wildest dreams? But I'm getting this vibe where they are so proud of you, but the way you move, they over there on some, that's mine's right there. Mm-hmm. They looking at you on some, oh shit, but that's mine's right there. They move one way, and and then during their time, they were very powerful, but that 111101111, you the one, okay, you the one. How are people viewing you who fucked you over? As the one with that authority? 11122. I mean, again, look at all these films that are coming out right now. Don't get black mirrored. Tell you. One more. How are they being viewed? Oh, I told you this energy had to do with a very strong ancestral woman, Seku chakra, the womb. You're certainly connected to Earth in ways that people could never imagine. There's the reason for that movie reference coming out, because what's in the movie is not just a movie. 11222. It's not just a movie. This is why my readings are as long as they are. Because not everybody's going to reach this point. Only those who are aware and have a resonance to the truth of who they are in connection to their ancient souls of souls. You'll know. You'll be here to this point. They also see you as you now have authority over what it is that you create. You mean what you say. You may have said something in the past in regards to what was shown to you in your mind's eye, but they didn't believe you. They can't believe you because they don't know themselves to begin with. Because what you know influences what you believe. Pisces says, I believe. Aquarius says, I know. So if you're going to believe, where are you coming from with that belief? A knowing. But most people, again, that start with, oh, astrology ain't real. Motherfucker, you ain't real. Look at this. Speaking of, you said something, Eight of Wands. This is Mercury and Sagittarius. I have that placement. I have a Sun and Mercury in Sag. You gonna see some shit. In ways that the picture is so big of how much you can see, you can't speak it to deaf ears or blind eyes or senseless beings. Remember what we said about what you were wishing for? That in holding on to this energy of where you may have said something, but somebody went outside their mouth and feeling as though, oh no, this ain't this, this is that. Not knowing who they messing with. in terms of what is now to be built here on this planet energetically, so there could be unconditional love. Holding on to these senseless beings, when it's time for you to open that door of value, instead of it being 50 bill, it turns into a 50K because you moving with lower vibrational energies who just want to be in the hype. They not really about that life. One more. How is the collective being viewed, or who this message is for? You got the mind's eye, the first eye, the heart chakra, and the sacral chakra. You're open now. You're receiving a lot right now. A lot of champ. Look at this. They can't stop this. They know this is Ace of Cups, which has to do with unconditional love. I'm telling you. I keep seeing someone say, fuck. I move this way with this person as if they were these other people, but they not even in that category. They was really here to help me, but confirmation, temperance. As we was talking about that Eight of Wands energy, Mercury and Sagittarius, the Sagittarius card. You literally came here to plant the seed of unconditional love. And to do that, your tool to bring this into reality has to do with your passions or your fire, the elements of fire. 744, Leo, Lion energy. So that could be where that 7-4 comes into play too, because that's Leo season. I mean, also, America, this is, you know, Pluto returned for America too. What's in this hopes and fears position? Now, on another note, there is a beautiful relationship that is coming towards you. Don't self-sabotage it. Thinking as though, you know what I'm saying? It's situations of the past. Because this could even be someone that you even saw in your dreams already. You were able to tell their energy apart from everyone else. You'll be able to do that here as well in the physical realm. Look at this, the moon card. Don't sabotage it, literally. This is a self-sabotage card. Confirmation, what's behind this? Waiting game. Let me see what the heart chakra says. Destiny, for the wheel to, for the energy to land just in the perfect, precise moment. I'm telling you, something about this here, Pluto and Aquarius going into Aquarius. They said congratulations. So, hopes and fears position. January 19th, 2020 could be significant too. Okay. Hopes and fears position is your stability. You're hoping that the decision you make next puts you in a better space in terms of your stability. But if you hoping and notice that section in itself, before you get to the outcome, it says hope and fear. So when you have that word "and" in between two words, it's because those two words on the outside of "and" mean the same shit. Or the definition of those words have a resonance to one another. especially when you are describing more than one thing. Someone you've known since the first grade is also significant because now grammar is coming into play. And you have the universe here. The universe got you. You could be a life path 1, I'm also getting. Which means this is your lifetime to be a pioneer. You certainly going to be misunderstood. But people don't agree with you until what you're doing works. So keep people out of it anyway. Because they gotta see it to believe it. They gotta physically see it to believe it. You see it within your mind's eye, it's already happening. Especially if you're an avid meditator, if you're someone, you know what I'm saying? You're about that life when it comes to zenning yourself out. Tell me more about this. Why is this a hope and a fear? 5 of Pentacles. 15. That's Saturn. That's Capricorn energy in itself. That's an attachment, because what the devil does, it attaches the essence of the devil, even the word backwards. It attaches you to the life you've lived that keeps you in bondage. 122:11 on the timer. Now, in terms of activating your base chakra, get more familiar of the role of Saturn in your natal chart so you have an idea of the obstacles and challenges you are here to overcome to gain wisdom, so that you can effortlessly be stable in this reality. And the winter seasons could also be significant too. The way you feel during that season, Capricorn season. So 12/21, the winter solstice, till Aquarius season, 120. I'm getting this energy of you're not your ancestors' past. 123 on the timer. 12300. You're not your ancestors' past. 123 is the 5 of Swords energy too. Wow. Move on from... So you're here breaking this generational bondage of a possible dis-ease or something that is quote unquote genetic, when it's what's genetic is the energy that's been carried on from generation to generation doing the same shit. One, two, three, 4, 0. You're seeing that it's showing you that you're on the right path to a new beginning, because that's a 10. Wow. Moon in Sagittarius, spiritual strength. The wounded healer, wounded warrior energy. A lot of green. You could be guided to wear more green or connect more with your heart chakra. Even doing that before bed so you can get more clarity about your dream state. Place your hand on your heart and notice that that's the most important thing. Before anything else. Before you can experience anything else. If that heart is not dancing, beating, you wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing you want to value more than anything. And trust the signals that you get from there. It's the operator for a reason. Outcome. What's the outcome here? You got this. Just trust your gut, because your heart is sending that message, especially when it comes to if there's a possible situation that's coming up next for you or has already happened and you just want confirmation. Is this something, is this the situation that I'm really supposed to be letting go or be mindful of and keep it at a distance? Yes. Memories of love. 6 of Cups. Wow. Your outcome is a soulmate. Literally, solar plexus, a soulmate. Especially if you're in a situation wondering, because of the time you've invested in it, which is a 7 of Pentacles, the investments that you make, but before you continue to move forward with it and work more on it, 8 of Pentacles, you're seeing the lessons you've learned, and if this is something that you are to take with you on the next level when it comes to you being guided to move on. So that way you step into this level of independence and generational wealth, the 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Tell me more about this. 4 of Wands, foundations and achievements, 3, 4, 7. Okay. With the emotional loss, 5 of Cups. The universe got you. Source got you. But this is all part of your soul's mission here. You're spiraling out of this, which means you're in motion. If you are attached, you'll never be able to walk through or let alone even see the door to value, your value. That's why in clearing all of this up, a soulmate connection is destined here for some of you, or taking it to the next level. If you know what I'm saying, you are in the most beautiful and harmonious relationship. Hey, go you, baby. This is gonna go to the next level. But now if you are single, okay, when you come across this energy, this person, this person's soul, is you're going to recognize each other because they've already seen you too. They've already seen you, whether if it's from another lifetime, because that 6 of Cups, memories of love, this is someone you've always shared lifetimes with. On some Shiva and Sati, Shiva and Parvati, because Sati to Parvati is, they're the same person but just a reincarnation. Beautiful story, by the way. Some of you could really have that type of relationship. Even the animals that you consider a spirit animal, that could be where you and that person met. Okay. This type of soulmate connection is someone that is your mate in consciousness. That's what brings forth unconditional love or a deeper sense of love. There's a vibrational match of consciousness. 2 sides of the same coin type of energy. But having to go through certain life lessons each time, where part of that could have to do with, you know, detaching oneself and just being that consciousness. Not so much, just give me the word, source. Not so much focused on the flesh aspect, because that's what causes a certain type of heartbreak if someone, and condolences to you if you know, who you consider your soulmate has already transitioned. Those people that go through that type of energy, you are certainly here to assist the collective with what love is, and to heal from the sense of not having that person physically around, but they're still there in spirit and in soul, which is why when certain people get into another relationship or remarry, they can still feel that person's presence because that person has come back. They may not be in the same, obviously in the same vessel. However, that's still that person, you know? So yeah. Obviously not in all cases, but what I was just picking up on, especially with this showing up. Let's get some clarifiers. This is exactly the image I was seeing earlier in terms of the advice, what you're being asked to walk away from, and the way people are recognizing who you are is exactly what I saw. And it's the guilt card, 8 of Swords. And this could even be in a subtle way too, where people will keep you trapped in fear because their belief systems don't match yours. They may not tell it to you in your face, but they still move that way. That's actually a form of a curse. 13303. That's actually a form of a curse where people don't agree with what it is that you're doing, but still want to be around you, but have this, you know what I'm saying, have this wall up in a sense. Either way, whether the wall is there, there's still a projection of, you know what I'm saying, what you're doing you're not supposed to do. Damning you, basically. Clarify the rejoicing celebration, the 3 of Cups as a challenge. It went towards the recent past. You have morality, the King of Swords, Aquarius energy. So this could be even having to make a decision of, do you go towards continue with people based off of that, the same example that we just had just now? Do you continue to move forward with that type of energy around you because they're possibly family members? Or do you pull your energy away? Pull your energy away. That's literally the conflict that some of you may be having. Let people move how they want to move. But whatever it is that you are aware spiritually on the soul level, that's for you. And you do what you got to do with it. Which is also why you see instances where people step into this level of wealth, and then you have people that are looking from the outside, looking in, questioning, why don't they have this person and that person around? There isn't a match in frequency for them to even be there when it's time for you to, you know what I'm saying? Experience that abundance that you worked for. Yeah, you might have to get a little cold-shouldered with certain people that you used to celebrate with. A new vision, coño. Mm-hmm. That's the Hangman 12 right there. Yeah, just free up yourself and just you may feel that sense of emotional loss. Yo, and the Hangman is under this card too. The decision you have to make in order for you to become that lotus, to come out the mud, may bring forth some level of emotional loss. However, it's 6:11 on the timer. You also know the consequences of not trusting in your path. It's missing out on the prosperity that begins, and memories of love is right behind that. That if you don't, you know what I'm saying, go towards what showed up here and what's in your environment, that what you've been patiently waiting for, in terms of why you moved the way you move and why you made the choices and sacrifices, more so choices that you make. If you choose to deviate from that path, when the seed that you've been planting was to bring in a love that you remember from a cosmic standpoint, a consciousness standpoint, unconditional love standpoint, Ace of Cups, taking a different path, you place yourself back into another obstacle and challenge, which is the Five of Wands. Being around more of the drama or more training, overtraining. Okay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. You got the Five of Wands behind the memories of love, the Six of Cups, the soulmate energy, followed by the Hermit. Take your path. You are aware of what you have to do, because what? It brings in the lover, or people that love you, that truly match your way of processing information. Mercury. Two Mercury cards here. 916. Virgo energy is very strong here, which is this is a 10 of Pentacles vibes. Yeah, you are really here to build some serious generational wealth, because 916 is connected to, that's the third deacon, Virgo, 10 of Pentacles card. This is exactly what we just said. Some of you didn't have the support from the family that you wished you had, but now you're being placed in a position to create your own. Okay? Hey, it is what it is, baby. Under that, you have behind the lovers was, hold on, let me put these back in order. Behind the lovers now, you have, look at this, the high priestess shows up with the transformation, Pluto. You have that information you've already had about what to do. You may have been contemplating on, you don't want to deceive people. There you go. You don't want to deceive people by trusting what your heart tells you to do. Because the Seven of Swords is the third deacon of Aquarius, and this is third deacon Aquarius energy here, 213 just about, right? Yeah. You already have all the information that you needed to see in order to make the decision that comes with you going to the next level or evolving. Yeah, and when you make that decision, you're gonna see things move much faster, because my ankle just started tingling around the Achilles area, and Achilles is connected to Aquarius too, as far as parts of the body. That's Aquarius, that area, because the feet would be Pisces, but the Achilles calf, that's if you've been stagnant, it's because you're holding on to a decision that you are already aware of that you have to make. And it's about leaving people behind. You may have attempted to do this back in August of 2013, but something may have happened where a challenge came about, and now you're re-questioning, And you got the Three of Pentacles with the Tower. The Tower moment, or this revelation that you're having, especially with Uranus, okay, in Taurus, creating that opposition to the full moon in Scorpio. is where you have that aha moment. And Scorpio has to do with, it also has to do with people in positions of power. You have literally something that was already in your presence, but you weren't fully able to embrace it, possibly since 2021 of April, or April 12th, 21st could be of significance. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Then you got, after this disruption, you have the star card, but this star card in this deck says hope. Remember, this is synonymous to fear. And in that position of the hopes and fears, you have your stability and financial material changes. Some of you, your money may have been on a slowdown because of, you know, the energetic, impoverished mindsets that you were still connected to, even if it's not physically, if it's even emotionally or within your thoughts. That's all it takes. You don't even have to be in the physical presence of these energies for it to have an effect on you. Because your thoughts become things and the feeling brings it in even faster. But if it has no way of reaching you physically, just know energetically it'll show up in something else because it's already, you know, something that's within you. Then after that, you have the Fool card, a new beginning, going on a new adventure, taking that leap of faith, knowing who you are, that I am energy. Telling you. Okay. Then we have the Ace of Swords here at the bottom of the deck. So there's a lot of truth that's been coming through here. And you're speaking of the consciousness, the vibrational match of consciousness is 143. Ace of Swords. A lot of this helped you to gain the strength because that Nine of Wands energy also had the Buddha energy behind it in this deck for the spiritual strength. You were going through the lessons to, you know, thaw out your heart towards your own self so that way you're able to make conscious decisions in alignment to unconditional love. Tell me about the immediate past with this mind's eye. Show me what the collective was seeing here. Wow, the King of Cups. Yourself. You were seeing yourself healed. You know, ooh, wow. Oh, shit. You could be a Pluto and Scorpio generation, so there's a lot you have to destroy. See, that's another thing. If 144, 23, if you are Pluto, it's 144, 23. Look at the card that says 23 in his deck. Anything that was keeping your bloodline all tied up as a Pluto and Scorpio generation, you came here to untie everything. Set that thing in flames. And whatever can rise up from that, the phoenix rising, yeah, you're supposed to. If not, you were given the recipes, the steps to take when it comes to healing. And you may have wanted to share that with others, but they're comfortable where they're at. Now, that's the life and the path they chose. That's another thing. You chose this path, they chose that one. That makes it easier for you to make a decision, especially if you are coming out of that phase and recognizing that that understanding is for you. It's for you to recognize and reward yourself that when you learn, you move on and you will remember. Give that same respect to others. And if they don't reciprocate that energy, fuck it. Exhaustion. Yeah, 9 of Wands. That's the spiritual strength card, matter of fact, in this deck. Yeah. You tired of you were given the solutions because you were able to say, I'm tired of this same shit happening over and over and over again. What do I have to do? Then our source answers you. Your higher self, the shadow aspects of you, have a moment with you where it shows you, okay, you're ready to make a change, you're ready to transform this. Well, this is what has to happen. Participation, all hands on deck. Speaking of what we just mentioned, participation. Yeah. Which is your outcome. This is the 4 of Wands, right? Let me see. Yeah, it is. Foundations and achievements. Wow, with letting go at the bottom of the deck, Saturn and Pisces. This is it's heavy because when you are in your crown state, you're going to come across as in heavy energy to people that are not ready to wear or see the patterns in life. When you can see the patterns in situations and you are around people who are complacent, you come across as a heavy energy to them. It's not, heavy doesn't have to be negative. You know what I'm saying? It has to be something that's on a lower vibrational side, rather. Because this is a heavy of, you're ready to, be mindful of what a lord is. Lord is the head of the household. So now you got your head on your shoulders. Now you got your heaven on top of your vessel. Because heaven is here. That pineal gland and that pituitary gland, that's what heaven is. That's the land of milk and honey. It ain't the pearly gates and the... No. You are a representation of that within yourself. The heaven, the hells, everything in between, around it. Your 144 is you having control over your lower self. The 74 demons are lower emotions. And a connection to your higher self, your angels or angles of light. That's what that is. It's 74 of them, 72 of them each. Your relationships placed you into that position too. Relationships that didn't work out. It helped you to, you know what I'm saying, get to the root of, first and foremost, being patient with yourself, to go through that process of reflecting on, okay, what has to change and making those changes. So for this crowning position of, you're focused on moving forward because it's triumph, okay? You're ready to move forward. The way this is coming through here, this is a conversation between you and I. Let's say if this is coming through as a personal. You're becoming more clear because it's confirming the conversations you've been having with your higher self, with the merge of the shadow and the light. All is well, love. All is well. Okay? Especially with the advice being moving on, and what's at the forefront of your mind is the card of moving forward. the Chariot, and you're ready to rise, the Merkaba. You're ready to go through that process of ascension. And you can't have any outside influence. It's similar to driving a car. You're not supposed to be driving a car under influence, any type of, substance influencing you or your perception. It's the same way when you're getting into that Merkaba. You can't have other things around you, or even let alone explaining what that may mean to other people who are not there yet. It's the vehicle that you go into for your soul to ascend. You can look at that even as the essence of the Kundalini rising. That's something, you want to be aware of what's going on, and it's nothing to play with. Because people can literally get sick from doing that and doing it incorrectly, going through certain processes to raise their Kundalini energy, but they're still in situations that's going to literally affect and make them susceptible to toxicity that's detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Some of you may have been experiencing some back pressure in your lower back pressure in your lower back, because as long as you're worried about your stability, you're taking your focus off of that there is a greater energy outside of you that works with you, that you are plugged into, but that worry disconnects you from it. Okay? And just as anything that has a process, some of you, you're ready to cold turkey situations, release yourself from situations, and you'll see how that shifts for you, much faster than, let's say, waiting for a perfect moment to do something. So what I'm getting from this is, let's say if you have a habit of decompressing by smoking or drinking, but to an excessive point where if you had planned to do something, but because you started doing this and that, you no longer do it, that's an indication for you, okay, you're gonna have to let this go, because it's blocking you from it's distracting you from what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's just for a moment, so you can get to where you got to get to. Some of you, in order for you to, come to a stop with certain things, even if it's just for a moment, you may have an experience with it that really wakes you up on some, if you keep doing this, you gonna be marking off the days as to how long you gonna be here. We're just keeping it real now. Okay. But longevity and infinite abundance of life to all. Okay? Shit. Clarify triumph. I love doing these long ass lives. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give. Source always takes care of me. I'm telling you. Take it from me. When I sit here and get anxious about when I tell you the level of resistance and the more aware you become, the quicker it is going to be for you to, okay, pump the brakes and recognize what you're doing. When, if you know and feel that all is well, all will be well. But if there's something lurking in the back of your mind telling you otherwise, you're slowing that process up. You're making that process longer. Because as you're doing that, what's now happening is that you're taking your focus off of what you can actually do and handle in the current moment, as that is being cooked up for you. Do the next best thing you can do in the moment to assist with that, not force something to come into play. Some of you have amazing creative ideas that it's time for you, okay, Especially, this has to do with something that you have unconditional love for. Find the time to do it. Some of you have, your 9 to 5s, but you also have this entrepreneurship that you want to go towards. Dedicate the time to it. You can do it. Okay? You been there, done that. You can get it done. Okay, don't make excuses about it. If you find that you are, too tired to do certain things, what are you putting into your body that's not allowing you to have the energy to do what you have to do? You know what I'm saying? But the sooner you make the decision to go towards success, which means you are progressively going towards your goal, I'm telling you, it's going to be smooth sailing. Even if you do encounter any type of obstacles and challenges, you're going to be able to hurdle that motherfucker. I'm telling you. Clarify, triumph. Clarify, triumph. Rebirth. Ooh. This is a 10 of swords at that. Once you get out of your head and cease the overthinking, because this is Mercury and Gemini, Sun, Mercury and Gemini, you'll be able to make a decision. And there goes the lion too. Yeah, some of you are certainly having a Kundalini awakening, as a matter. That's for sure. Because you see how this child is playing the flute, so your inner child. That's where that 744 comes into play. So if you 157, 744 is going to be a key for you in terms of 633 is on the time right now. In terms of you mastering something that you were going through a process of learning. And that has to do with the way you utilize your feelings. In terms of 6, the number 6 could also be Cancer season as well for June or Gemini. Choosing the way you respond to your feelings. Feelings is Cancer, and the decisions that you make based off of the lessons, Capricorn, the polar reflection of Cancer, using your feelings wisely. There goes the 17 though. On the path towards the healed version of you. That emotional loss is coming through real strong again. Wow, transformation is here. The Death card. Kali. Let's get a message from Kali. We're gonna wrap it up there. Let's get a message from Kali. You overcame a lot with that 10 of swords that led to your rebirth, literal rebirth here. Ooh, wow. You've regained trust in yourself. So this could really be a message for someone who says that they can't trust anybody. That's a reflection of where you are at with trusting yourself first and foremost, because as long as you say that, you're going to keep calling in energies that you can't trust. If you know you trust yourself, then it's not that you can't trust anyone, it's just where you are, where you're placing your trust when it comes to others. You know, as you know, beloved Kali, what's the message here? Shit. Look at this one at the bottom of the deck. Durga Kalika, number 11. At number 11. All right, now. You could be a life path for 11. What's this? Krishna, 41. The fact that it's two masculines and it's a Kali deck, that's giving Bhadra Kali. The Kali comes out at the bottom of the deck. 4114. Let me see. Let me go to 4114. 4114. Hebrew meaning. Let's see something. What does this mean? Overthrow, destruction, as a result of divine intervention or judgment. Ask and you shall receive. Some of you have been asking for unconditional love, amazing health, abundance of wealth. Well, that which has to be destroyed or divinely intervened upon, there's why. They say be mindful what you wish for, because you will get it with a certain type of might too. Not might as in maybe, no. Get it all right. Let's go. There's a spiritual intelligence within your soul. There you go. There's a spiritual intelligence within your soul. It is the genius of becoming, of ripening. And the genius energy is connected to Aquarius too. Okay. It is the genius of becoming, of ripening from potential into glorious manifestation. Intimate communion with your own heart will reveal what it is you truly yearn for, and set the process in motion for that yearning to be satisfied. The holy fire is Kali, and she is within your soul. Follow the yearning, seek the light. Let yourself burn bright for what inspires you, and you shall see the path to fruition clearly before you. Believe in what is meant to be. And once again, what you believe is what you know. If you know it's meant to be, then it will be. Continue to believe it because you know it. Let's go to 14. Bhadrakali. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundaye Vishe. Bhadrakali. Our wild divine mother knows when to become gentle with our hearts, bestowing sweetness that liberates us far from fear. Though you may have faced much struggle and challenge on your path, though it may seem only the most powerful intensity could stem the tide of negativity, the dark mother of grace will conquer the obstacles to your freedom with gentleness. She manifests herself now as Bhadra, the gentle. She will calm the waves of emotion, eradicate doubt and despair, and provide safe and graceful passage through all difficulties. I love that for you, for all of you. We'll close it off with this. Out of the fire of divine wrath, your gentle form emerges, calming the raging waves of emotion and disturbed fluctuations of mind. In settling myself beneath your fiercely compassionate and tender gaze, I find steadiness, kindness, and peace. In this eternal moment with you, I am no longer afraid. Bhadrakali, Rakshakali, Shyamakali. My heart softens as I take delight in the realization of your generosity and sweetness. With gracious mind and a willing heart, I bow before you, ready to receive with gratitude, love, and wonder at your divine beauty and kindness. You are the unscripted creativity of the gentle yet unyielding divine workings for the greatest of all, Jai Magali. That is the presence within you. She's connected to Cancer energy as well. If anything, the mother, triple goddess. So yeah, I appreciate, love you all. Congratulations on walking to and through your door of value, through replenishing your spirit. All is well. You are healthy. You are infinitely abundant. All is well, all is well, all is well. I will see you on the next slide.